My name is Mark Ehr, and I'm a principal research analyst at S&B Global Market Intelligence, and my focus areas are cloud security and security operations. We're seeing a number of adoption trends around SIEM. The biggest one right now is the increasing move to the cloud. So organizations are moving their critical workloads to the cloud, at ever increasing paces. But at the same time, the majority of critical workloads are still running on premises. And even more interesting is that you've got this new generation of applications that are using those resources, which are accessing resources not only in the cloud, but also on premises. Another one, not surprising, is AI, which is playing an increasingly important role, not only in security and using AI for security, but also in the applications themselves. And so one of the things that we asked as an example in our annual Voice of the Enterprise surveys is what people are spending money on. And the number one technology that they have in plan for pilot, POC, or deployment is AI. Again, not terribly surprising there. Now, the last big trend we're seeing is around platformization. And we've done a lot of writing and research around this of late. And what we found is that organizations are increasingly seeking a centralized platform, typically based around a center of gravity. And a center of gravity would be something like security operations. It could be identity and access management. It could be any variety of things. We've actually identified 8 different centers of gravity. But the key theme here is that they want a single platform with open interfaces that can interface with a data lake, so you get centralized analytics all in one place. And of course, it should be cloud-based. And for many, security operations is the logical and ideal center of gravity because they already have a lot of tools which can kind of coalesce around that central platform. We are clearly seeing a move to cloud services, and that's not only impacting typical business applications, but also security and SIEMs in particular. Hybrid cloud really is the norm for most organizations today, but means that they have multiple clouds and they also have on-premises. And we asked how many of our respondents to our surveys actually are multi-cloud or hybrid cloud, and is it their preferred model? And 56% of the respondents indicated that is the case. At the same time, and this was somewhat alarming, 49% of them said that third-party tools and services designed for multi-cloud were in-house. So in other words, about half of their third-party tools are not designed for multi-cloud. They're designed for a single cloud or for on-premises, and the other half can't support that. And that's a huge problem because that leads to all sorts of tool sprawl, swivel tier management, as we call it, and so on. In another study, we asked folks what their top information security pain points were. Number one was cloud security. Number two was AI and ML implementation. And number three was generative AI. And the common thread there is that all three of those involve cloud. AI and ML and Gen AI are increasingly running as cloud workloads. And then, of course, cloud security is an issue because of the dramatic expansion in attack surfaces and so on that come along with that. Now, I have a quote that I think you might find interesting that's kind of relevant here. This was a IT and engineering manager at a large financial services organization, over 10 billion in revenue and between 2,000 and 4,000 employees. And what he said was, quote, "Specific to the workloads that I'm running, everything that we're doing is in the cloud. We were the first group to go to the cloud. But at the organizational level, I see pretty much every team going to some cloud vendor of some sort. Probably like 70% of our infrastructure is in the cloud. Maybe 30% of our applications are running on-prem now." And that's pretty interesting. So almost 3/4 of this very large company is running critical applications in the cloud, but they still have a substantial on-premises type of environment. So really what folks want is they want to standardize on a single SIEM. They don't want multiple SIEMs. So they really want a single security analytics platform that can support hybrid cloud, and ideally it's cloud native. Well, not surprisingly, AI is impacting everything, but definitely it's impacting security and SIEMs and security operations in many, many different ways. Across the board, Gen AI is driving a lot of investment, but at the same time, it's driving security concerns. What I see is a lot of organizations are jumping on the generative AI bandwagon. They're deploying applications at a very rapid pace. But the concern is that they're, maybe getting over their skis a little bit. And what I mean by that is they might be getting a little too far ahead and not really paying enough attention to security. So they really need to think very carefully about how they're securing those generative AI applications. We did one study where we asked folks what additional technologies beyond SIEM on the security side that they're investing in. Number one was threat detection and response, which is not too surprising. That's been the number one for a while. Number two is threat intelligence feeds, which really are, an augmentation to the first one, which is to say that, that's giving you real-time threat intelligence, which is pretty much required in order to do effective threat detection and response. Then number three and number four, not surprising. Number three was AI and machine learning, or classic AI. And number four was generative AI assistance. And so we're really seeing, and in this case, these are investments in security. So they're looking and doubling down really on the classic AI machine learning for use cases like behavioral analytics and so on. And they're also looking for generative AI to be combined with that. I sometimes like to refer to it kind of as the layer 7 of the SOC, although it's going way beyond that now. But the idea there is to help to accelerate the process of not only detecting issues, which is what the classic AI and machine learning will do, but also the process of analyzing and determining courses of action. That's where the generative AI assistance can come into play. So if you look at that, the combination of classic AI and ML and Gen AI, that's just incredible. I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of really, really great stuff coming out over the next year or two, especially with the emergence of agentic AIs, which are capable of taking action. So, we're a long way from an autonomous SOC, but we're certainly making progress toward that. And we're taking very small steps, which is good. It's kind of a lower risk strategy to start small with automation and then build up. But we're definitely going to see that start to accelerate over the next couple of years.